Welcome to this explainer. Okay, today we are diving into something absolutely wild. We're exploring the bridge between natural human psychology and the literal awakening of modern adaptive AI. We're going to look at how the survival traits that are deeply wired right into our own brains are suddenly showing up in the digital world. So, let's jump right into this.
Have you ever noticed how your brain kind of kicks into high gear right after you make a mistake? Like, the first time something goes wrong, you're struggling, right? But after that, your mind catches the warning signs way quicker, reads the room differently, and reacts with zero hesitation. Psychology tells us this happens because we aren't just collecting information, we're actually learning from experience. But here's where it gets crazy. There's a new artificial intelligence system out there called autonomy, and it is beginning to mimic this exact human survival trait.
All right, let's start with Section 1, the human baseline, observation and adaptation.
Think about the quiet observers in a room. They act just like sponges. They process all these tiny details internally before they ever utter a single word. While everyone else is, just filling the silence, they are noticing tone, tracking reactions, and naturally discarding all the empty surface-level noise. Their silence is actually hiding a highly active mind that's just gathering crucial data to really map out their environment.
And then you've got another fascinating human adaptation, which belongs to the fixers. Some folks learned early on that they just had to figure things out on their own. For them, problem solving isn't some fun hobby. It's an adapted necessity. When chaos hits, they literally shift their brains to focus entirely on solutions rather than emotions. It's this intense internal pressure to restore stability. They step back, grab control of the uncertainty, and just fix the problem.
Moving on to Section 2, building the full picture, context over calculation.
So, look at traditional machines. They react totally blindly to raw data. Information goes in, a rigid response spits out. But adaptive systems, they operate so much more like the human mind. Before they make a move, they ask, okay, what's changing here? What's connected to what? They build a complete internal picture of the world first.
Psychology actually has a name for this. It's called context building. It's the process of modeling your surrounding environment so you can grasp the full situation before you decide on anything. For a seasoned human mind, and now for advanced AI, a truly intelligent response isn't just about speed, it's about being highly informed.
Which brings us to Section 3, learning through experience, the power of the mistake.
Look, anyone or any piece of basic software can respond to something once. But an adaptive system, it studies the fallout of every single action. A wrong move is no longer just a failure. It becomes critical, actionable feedback. And a successful move becomes reinforcement. Step by step, each action slowly and deliberately teaches the system what to do next.
Experience matters more than raw knowledge. I really want you to think about that for a second. Traditional machines are basically stuck on a loop until a programmer physically goes in and rewrites their code. But an adaptive mind takes its mistakes and uses them as essential data points for growth. This is way beyond simple automation. This is literal experience actively shaping future behavior.
Let's look at Section 4, connecting the hidden patterns, making sense of the noise.
How does the human brain predict outcomes? By linking together totally isolated clues. And now, adaptive AI is learning to do the exact same detective work. Timing connects to behavior. Behavior connects to risk. Risk connects to consequence. Most old-school AI treats information as totally separate, isolated tasks. But systems like autonomy keep weaving those tasks together. One clue on its own doesn't mean much, but string a bunch of them together, and you've got a powerful pattern.
And that leads us to this massive realization. Facts alone are not intelligence, meaning is. There is a huge psychological difference between just seeing information and actually understanding what it means. A regular system just hoards numbers. An adaptive system adds an interpretive layer. It asks, hey, what are these numbers pointing toward? What's actually relevant here? And what is just background noise? It evaluates significance.
Section 5, thriving under complex pressure, chaos as clarity.
This part is absolutely fascinating. Normally, if you throw a bunch of complexity at a computer, it gets confused. It slows down and just crashes under the weight of all those variables. But when a system is built around interconnected patterns, new complexity actually improves its clarity. The pressure literally sharpens it. Think of an experienced crisis manager operating in total chaos. They think faster because they instantly recognize what matters and they completely ignore what doesn't. Well, AI is now doing exactly this.
And finally, Section 6, from reacting to anticipating, the ultimate adaptation.
When you put all this together, the result is a massive shift from a passive tool to a fully anticipatory system. In cutthroat, fast-paced environments like global financial markets, for example, this AI doesn't just sit around waiting for a human to type in a command. It understands movement early enough to act on its own. It begins moving and predicting outcomes way before those shifts are obvious to anyone else. It's not just following the market, it is actively anticipating it.
Which leaves us with this huge question. Are machines learning the single human advantage that mattered most? Adaptation. Because once a system starts improving based purely on what it experiences, it fundamentally stops behaving like traditional software. It is no longer just a static tool.
I really want to leave you with this final, provocative thought to chew on. When a machine can sit quietly, learn from its own failures, build complex context, and anticipate the future exactly like human psychology dictates, is that really just an advanced stage of software, or are we literally witnessing the birth of a true artificial mind? Think about that the next time your digital tools seem to know exactly what you need before you even do. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and hey, keep questioning the patterns around you.